Just goes to show you, even when things seem routine and you're doing the same thing for the 100th time, or 41st time in the case of this vlog, nothing is ever static. And one day, some random dog is just going to come out of the bush. Morning world, morning walk, episode 41. It's a cracking morning here in Sydney. Just coming into the summertime and, you know, sunshine, clear blue skies. It's just a fantastic time of year. This weekend was absolutely spectacular. If you're fortunate enough to be down near the beach and get a bit of surf, sunshine, extraordinary. Yeah. It's a really nice time of year in Sydney, I find. For a lot of people, this is a time of year when work tends to slow down. Obviously for others, it's a time when work really seems to pick up, but certainly for our businesses, it's a time of year when it's the edges starting to come off a little bit, which is a really nice feeling. It's actually also a time of year that everyone's finishing high school. Goodness gracious, congratulations if that's you and you've just finished high school, and like, good luck. No, it's like one of the most stressful periods of your life in many ways. Basically just because everything's uncertain, you know? Really uncertain. I was just like floating around the internet yesterday and came across this comment in one of like the local Facebook groups. There was a student who was sort of saying, oh, it's so awesome to be done, but kind of like, now what? Because basically, you know, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know all the stuff that's ahead of you. You don't know what it means to go to uni or to get a job, take a gap year. Actually, that's why we created this whole A Life That Travels channel. It was just to try and give some unbiased, independent advice and information about these different options that you have at the end of high school. So, getting there bit by bit, more and more stories as we go. Morning, Pixie. Hello, dog. Pixie, hey, come here and say hello. Say good morning. That was a fail. I guess it is quite a monumental time because it's the first time you're sort of set free on your own to make decisions and like start to build your own independent self away from your parents. I mean, obviously for some people that's not the case. They may have been kind of independent and off on their own for a lot longer, but for the majority of us, if you've been fortunate enough to have a good steady life, this is the first chance. So what does that mean? Well, firstly, I guess you've got a lot of options in front of you, and most importantly for you is you've got a lot of time too. A lot of people now are starting to take gap years just to make sure that they've got a chance to decompress and learn a little bit about the world before jumping into university, and I didn't do that, but I think it's a pretty good idea. I think most importantly, you know, people tend to beat themselves up about what happened at school. Everyone's stressed about the results. Don't stress about the fucking results. Like, results definitely, the moment you walk into uni or walk into your job or first job or whatever, nobody actually gives a crap about your results. So it's not like these external forces that play on us. It's actually like more the internal stuff, right? Like the way that we treat ourselves about how we were at high school. I actually just recently went through my 20-year school reunion. Grr. And sorry, that's just the dog. Come on, Pixie. Come on. Good girl. I just recently went through my 20-year school reunion, and I really hesitated about whether or not I should go to that event. Why? Because I still felt guilty 20 years later about some of the ways that I'd actually behaved, I suppose, in high school, you know. I think I was pretty lucky. I was a pretty average sort of kid, had good parents, went to a decent school, so I didn't really have any reason to be traumatized. But, you know, even still, I was an asshole to a few people, more than once. I'm very sorry to all of you. And those things, you know, you kind of tend to regret, and that actually accumulates over time. And I realised when this 20-year reunion was coming on that I actually hadn't forgiven myself for all those things, which is insane, right? 20 years. Now, a lot of those people I've had a chance to talk to since and apologise, and the main thing to remember is, like, in 20 years' time, you're not going to be the same person that you are today. I mean, your core experiences are going to be the same, the kind of things that made you. But what you do with those pieces, that's totally up to you. And so I actually wrote this long letter a long post on LinkedIn to all of my former classmates, saying how much I wanted to see them, and that, you know, I hope they'd be there, because just the way that I had changed, I know they had changed, and I was fascinated in their stories. You can read that post on LinkedIn. I'll drop the link for you. That's the thing to remember, is that we're constantly changing. Even if you don't feel it, you don't notice it, you are changing. And in 1 year's time, you're not going to be the same person that you are now. In 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years time, you're not going to be the same person that you are now. So stop putting so much fucking pressure on yourself. There's nothing to be precious about. Life is long, and then even the mistakes you've made, you can make up for those. It's like a fucking wild dog that's just come out of the bush. Fucking random. Gone. Shoo you. Does look kind of friendly though. Come here, puppy. Come here, puppy. Isn't that the most random fucking thing? Just goes to show you, even when things seem routine and you're doing the same thing for the 100th time, or 41st time in the case of this vlog, nothing is ever static. And one day, some random dog is just going to come out of the bush. Goodness gracious. At least Pixie's excited. And if that's you, you don't know what you want to be doing in the next year, 2 years, 5 years, whether you're straight out of school or, you know, deep in your career, here's my advice to you. Give yourself 5 years to work it out. And in those 5 years, all you have to do is A, forgive yourself for everything that came before, and then try as much as you can. Whether that's like study lots of things, read lots of books, go on lots of trips, change jobs. There's a million different things that you can do, but the more you try, the more you are likely to find out what it is that really drives you. One thing at least is the truth. In 20 years time, you're not going to be the same person that you are today, for better or for worse. Anyway, handful of thoughts for you this lovely early summer's morning in Sydney. Whatever you're getting up to, I hope it's a good one. I'll see you next time on the morning walk. Bye.